They say trust is the foundation of marriage. What they don't tell you is what happens when you build that foundation on quicksand and lies. My name is Jake Morrison, and I'm about to tell you how I became the villain in my own life story. But here's the thing about being the villain. Sometimes it's exactly what everyone deserves. It started on our wedding night. Picture this. I'm 38, built like a linebacker from 20 years of electrical work, hands rough from pulling wire through concrete walls. Emily, my beautiful bride of 6 hours, sits on the edge of our honeymoon suite bed, still in her slip, looking anywhere but at me. "I'm not ready for intimacy yet, Jake," she says, voice soft as silk and twice as slippery. "I need time to adjust to being married." Being a decent guy, I nodded, kissed her forehead, told her we had all the time in the world. What kind of monster pressures his wife on their wedding night, right? 3 days later, I'm cleaning out her Honda Civic, trying to be the helpful husband, when I find a small bag wedged under the passenger seat. Inside, a tube of personal lubricant and a box of condoms. Neither had been opened, but both were clearly purchased recently. The receipt was still in the bag, dated 2 days before our wedding. She wasn't ready for intimacy with me, but she'd been preparing for intimacy with someone. That's when I learned the first rule of being married to Emily. She was always 3 steps ahead, and I was always the last to know. Fast forward 6 months. We're living in a modest 2-story house on Maple Street in Millbrook, Ohio. One of those Midwestern towns where the factories closed 20 years ago, but the gossip mill runs 24/7. I've built Morrison Electric from nothing into something respectable. Emily works as an HR director at Consolidated Industries, the only major employer left in town. Our daughter Lexi, 16 and armed with a smartphone, treats me like I'm some embarrassing relic from the Stone Age. She's got Emily's blonde hair and sharp tongue, plus the kind of confidence that only comes from never having worked for anything in your life. The house is quiet tonight. Emily's at another girls' night, which happen every Thursday like clockwork. Lexi's upstairs, probably making TikTok videos about how lame her parents are. I'm in the garage, working on my truck's transmission, when I hear them arguing through the thin walls. "Mom, why don't you just divorce him already?" Lexi's voice carries that special teenage contempt reserved for parents. I mean, look at him. Grease under his fingernails, drinks beer from a can, watches football all weekend. You deserve better. It's complicated, honey. Emily's voice is tired. Marriage isn't just about feelings. But you're miserable. I can see it. When's the last time you two even talked about anything real? When's the last time he made you feel alive, like Ricky does? My wrench slips, barking my knuckles against the transmission housing. Ricky. There it is, out in the open. Ricky Brennan used to be my friend. Hell, he used to be my business partner until he tried to steal 3 of my biggest clients 5 years ago. Now, he runs a competing electrical company across town, drives a Porsche he can't afford, and apparently makes my wife feel alive. Lexi, you can't talk like that. But Emily's protest sounds hollow. Your father is a good man. Good, maybe, but boring. God, Mom, you're 35, not 75. You could have anyone you want. I set down my tools and walk to the window. Emily's car isn't in the driveway. Thursday night. Girls' night. Except now I know where she really goes. The next morning, I start paying attention. Really paying attention. Emily's phone, which used to sit carelessly on the kitchen counter, now goes everywhere with her. She's started working out again, after years of claiming she was too busy. New underwear appears in the laundry, the kind she never wore for me. She takes longer showers and emerges smelling like expensive perfume I never bought her. The evidence piles up, like snow in January. Credit card receipts for dinners at restaurants we've never been to together. A necklace I didn't give her, hidden in her jewelry box behind the earrings from our anniversary. Text messages that make her smile in ways I haven't seen in years. But the smoking gun comes on a Tuesday afternoon when she thinks I'm at a job site across town. I double back to grab some equipment and find her car in our driveway, engine ticking as it cools. Through the living room window, I see her on the couch, phone pressed to her ear, laughing like a teenager. I can't wait to see you tonight, she's saying. Jake's working late on the Henderson job. We'll have hours. She's planning to bring him here, to our house, our bed. That's when I decide to set my trap. I wait until Thursday, girls' night. Emily kisses my cheek, tells me she'll be late, Don't wait up. She's wearing a dress I've never seen before, and enough perfume to choke a horse. Have fun with the girls, I say, not looking up from my newspaper. I always do. After her car disappears down Maple Street, I get to work. I know where she keeps her travel bag, the one she takes on these Thursday adventures. Inside, nestled between the breath mints and emergency makeup, is her little tube of personal lubricant. I unscrew the cap and empty the contents into the sink. Then I refill it with something else entirely. Industrial strength superglue, the kind I use for electrical fixtures that need to stay put forever. The consistency is almost identical. The color's a perfect match. She'll never know the difference until it's too late. I screw the cap back on, place it exactly where I found it, and settle in to wait. My phone buzzes at 11:47 p.m. Unknown number, but I recognize the area code. It's from the Riverside Inn, the fancy hotel on the edge of town where people go when they want privacy. Hello? Is this Jake Morrison? The voice is professional, controlled, official. Yeah, that's me. Sir, this is Officer Patricia Hendricks with the Millbrook Police Department. We're at the Riverside Inn with your wife, Emily Morrison. She's requested that we call you. My heart pounds, but I keep my voice steady. Is she hurt? She's experiencing a medical situation, sir. She's asked us to contact you to come pick her up. What kind of medical situation? There's a pause. In the background, I can hear voices, movement, what sounds like someone crying. Sir, it would be better if we discuss this in person. Can you come to the Riverside Inn, room 237? I'll be right there. I drive slowly, taking my time. Whatever's happening at that hotel, I want to make sure plenty of people see it before I arrive to play the concerned husband. The Riverside Inn's parking lot looks like a crime scene. 2 police cruisers, an ambulance, and a fire truck, all with their lights painting the night in red and blue. A small crowd is gathered. Other hotel guests, curious locals who heard the sirens. I park and walk toward the commotion, putting on my best worried husband face. Excuse me, I say to the nearest officer. I'm Jake Morrison. Someone called about my wife? Officer Hendricks is a no-nonsense woman in her 40s, with tired eyes and a notepad. Mr. Morrison? Your wife is upstairs with the paramedics. She's not seriously injured, but she's in a delicate situation. What happened? We're still sorting that out. Apparently there was some kind of accident involving, she glances at her notes, personal lubricant that may have been contaminated or defective. Your wife and her companion became stuck together. I blink. Stuck together? The paramedics are working to separate them safely. It's going to require a trip to the emergency room. Her companion? Officer Hendricks studies my face carefully. A Mr. Richard Brennan. Do you know him? I let confusion and hurt wash over my features. It's not hard. The hurt part is real enough. Ricky? What was Emily doing with Ricky? That's something you'll need to discuss with your wife, sir. The elevator ride to the second floor feels like it takes forever. The hallway is chaos. Paramedics wheeling equipment, hotel staff trying to manage the situation, and through the open door of room 237, I can hear Emily sobbing. The scene inside the room is something I'll remember forever. Emily and Ricky are on the bed, covered by sheets, but even through the fabric, I can see they're connected in a way that's going to require medical intervention. Ricky's face is purple with embarrassment, and what might be pain. Emily won't look at anyone. Ma'am, we're going to need to transport you both to Millbrook General, one of the paramedics is saying. The doctor there has experience with this type of adhesion. That's when Emily sees me in the doorway. Her face crumples. Jake, I can explain. Can you? My voice is calm, curious, because I'm really looking forward to hearing this explanation. Ricky finally speaks up, his voice strained. Look, man, this isn't what it looks like. I step into the room, hands in my pockets, casual as Sunday morning. It looks like my wife and my former business partner are superglued together in a hotel room. What am I missing? The paramedic looks between us. Sir, we really need to get them to the hospital. This type of adhesive can cause tissue damage if not removed properly. I nod. Of course. Emily, I'll meet you there. Jake, please, don't worry, honey. I'll make sure everyone knows where you are. By the time I leave the hotel, half the town is gathered in the parking lot. Mrs. Crabtree from next door spots me immediately. Jake! Oh my goodness, what happened? Is Emily all right? I put on my best concerned husband voice. She's had a little accident. She'll be fine, but she's going to be at the hospital for a while. What kind of accident? I pause, as if I'm not sure I should say. Well, she was with Ricky Brennan, and there was some kind of problem with personal products. They're stuck together. Mrs. Crabtree's eyes go wide. Stuck together? The paramedics think someone replaced her lubricant with superglue. Within an hour, the story is all over Millbrook. By morning, it's on social media. Someone at the hotel took pictures. Someone else filmed the paramedics wheeling Emily and Ricky out on the same stretcher, still connected under a sheet. Emily spends 6 hours in the emergency room. The separation procedure is delicate, embarrassing, and expensive. The local news picks up the story. Local couple's affair ends in sticky situation. When she finally comes home Thursday afternoon, her face is puffy from crying, and what I assume was medical intervention. She finds me in the kitchen, reading the newspaper and drinking coffee. We need to talk, she says. I look up from the sports page. Do we? Because I think the whole town pretty much knows everything there is to know. Someone did this on purpose, Jake. Someone switched my lubricant with glue. Really? Who would do something like that? She stares at me for a long moment. You tell me. I fold my newspaper carefully. Emily, are you accusing me of sabotaging your affair? Because that would require me to know you were having an affair in the first place. Don't play dumb. You knew about Ricky. I suspected, but suspecting and knowing are different things. Now I know. I stand up, pour my coffee into the sink. The question is, what are we going to do about it? She straightens her shoulders, and I see the Emily I married, the one who never backs down from a fight. I want a divorce. I figured you might. And I want the house. And half your business. And full custody of Lexi. I nod slowly. You want to punish me for your affair. I want what I deserve. That's when I smile. Really smile. For the first time in months. You know what, Emily? You're absolutely right. You should get exactly what you deserve. The divorce papers arrive on a Monday morning, delivered by a process server who looks like he'd rather be anywhere else. Emily's not messing around. She's hired Mitchell & Associates, the most expensive law firm in the county. I'm reading through the demands when my phone starts buzzing. Text after text, all from the same number I don't recognize. Dad, what did you do? It's Lexi, texting from a friend's phone because apparently I'm too toxic for her regular contact list. Good morning to you too, sweetheart. Everyone at school is talking about Mom and the hotel thing. They're saying you did it on purpose. And what do you think? I think you're a psycho. There it is, my own daughter, ready to throw me under the bus for the mother who's been cheating on her family for months. But that's Emily's gift. She makes everyone else the villain in her story. The divorce papers are comprehensive. Emily wants the house, half my business, alimony, child support, and she's claiming I'm mentally unstable and potentially dangerous. She's already frozen our joint accounts and moved Lexi in with her sister across town. My phone rings. It's Tom Bradley, my biggest commercial client. Jake, we need to talk. What's up, Tom? Look, I like you, you know that, but this thing with your wife? It's all over Facebook. My wife's asking questions, and she sits on the church board. I can't have my electrical contractor involved in some kind of intimate scandal. Tom, I'm the victim here. She's the one who is cheating. Maybe so, but you're also the one who apparently booby-trapped her situation. That's not normal behavior, Jake. I've got to protect my reputation. He cancels 3 jobs. By the end of the week, I've lost 60% of my client base. Small towns love their gossip, but they don't love their scandal. The worst part is watching how Emily spins it. She's the victim now. The poor woman whose husband was so controlling and abusive that he sabotaged her personal items. Never mind that those personal items were being used to cheat on me. She's got the whole town feeling sorry for her. I'm at Murphy's Tavern on Friday night, nursing a beer and trying to ignore the whispers, when my old boxing coach Red walks in. Red's 65, built like a fire hydrant, and has never sugar-coated anything in his life. You look like hell, he says, sliding into the booth across from me. Feel worse than I look. Heard about your troubles. Whole town's talking. Yeah, I noticed. Red signals the bartender for a beer. You know what your problem is? Enlighten me. You're playing defense. Someone sucker punches you, you don't turtle up and hope they get tired. You hit back twice as hard. I did hit back. That's why everyone thinks I'm the bad guy. No, you got cute. You set a trap, embarrassed them, made them look foolish. That's not hitting back. That's pranking. Now they're making you look like the crazy one. The bartender brings Red his beer. He takes a long pull before continuing. Your wife's got you painted as the villain. Fine, be the villain, but be a smart one. What's that supposed to mean? Means stop playing their game by their rules. You want respect back? You want people to see the truth? You gotta make them see it. And that means getting your hands dirty. That weekend, I start doing research. Real research. Not just following Emily around and feeling sorry for myself. I want to know everything about my wife's new life. About Ricky. About the people who've decided I'm the monster in this story. Emily's moved in with her sister Angela on the nice side of town. Angela's 36, divorced, works in real estate, and has always treated me like something she scraped off her shoe. She's also Emily's biggest cheerleader, and the one who's been encouraging this affair from the beginning. Ricky's living in a bachelor pad condo near the river, the kind of place with a doorman and a gym and monthly fees that cost more than most people's rent. He drives a leased Porsche, wears designer clothes, and acts like he's God's gift to womankind. But here's what I learned when I start asking the right questions at the right places. Ricky's got problems. Big problems. I'm at the Pit, the boxing gym where Red still trains fighters, when I overhear two guys talking about Ricky's gambling habits. Turns out, he's a regular at the underground poker games that run in the back room of Santino's restaurant. And he's not very good at it. Guy's in the Mickey Torino for 15 grand, one of them says. Maybe more. Mickey's starting to get impatient. Mickey Torino runs the poker games and several other questionable businesses around town. He's not the kind of guy you want to owe money to. I also learned that Ricky's been buying steroids from a dealer who works out at the gym. Nothing too serious, just enough to keep his physique looking good for the ladies. But steroids are illegal, and if the wrong people found out, it could ruin his business. More interesting is what I discover about Angela. She's not just Emily's supportive sister. She's got her own agenda. 3 years ago, I had to fire an employee for stealing from job sites. That employee was Angela's boyfriend at the time. The breakup destroyed their relationship, and Angela's blamed me ever since. She's been in Emily's ear for months, encouraging the affair, telling her she deserves better, pushing her toward Ricky. Angela's not just supporting Emily's infidelity, she's orchestrating it. The pieces start falling into place. This isn't just about Emily being unhappy in our marriage. This is about Angela getting revenge on me, and she's using my wife to do it. Armed with this information, I start my counterattack. First, I spread a little gossip of my own. I mention Ricky's gambling debts to Mrs. Crabtree, knowing she'll spread it around town faster than wildfire. I let slip about his steroid use to Tom Bradley's wife at the grocery store. I make sure Angela's real estate clients know about her history of dating thieves. But the real opportunity comes when Lexi has her junior prom. Emily insists on throwing a pre-prom party at Angela's house, and she makes it clear I'm not invited. But the party's being held at a public venue, Angela's backyard, and there's nothing stopping me from driving by. I arrive just as the party's in full swing. Dozens of teenagers in formal wear, proud parents taking pictures, and there, in the middle of it all, are Emily and Ricky, playing happy couple for the whole town to see. I park across the street and watch for a few minutes. Emily's wearing a dress that costs more than my truck payment, laughing and chatting with the other parents like she doesn't have a care in the world. Ricky's beside her, his hand on her lower back, acting like he belongs there. That's when I decide to make my entrance. I walk across the street, through Angela's front gate, and into the backyard like I belong there. Because I do. I'm Lexi's father, and this is her prom party. Jake! Mrs. Henderson, one of the other parents, spots me first. I didn't know you were coming. Wouldn't miss it, I say, loud enough for everyone to hear. This is my daughter's big night. The crowd parts as I walk toward the refreshment table. Conversations stop. Emily's face goes pale when she sees me, and Ricky looks like he wants to disappear. I pick up a plastic cup, fill it with punch, and raise it high. I'd like to make a toast, I announce. Jake, don't, Emily starts, but I'm already talking. To family values, I say, my voice carrying across the suddenly quiet backyard. May they last longer than my marriage. A few people chuckle nervously. Emily's face is bright red. And to second chances, I continue, because everyone deserves to find happiness, even if they have to steal it from someone else. Now the laughter stops completely. Ricky steps forward. Look, man, maybe you should... Should what? Leave my daughter's prom party? Miss this special moment? I take a sip of punch. Don't worry, Ricky. I'm not here to cause trouble. I just wanted to see how the other half lives. I walk over to Lexi, who's standing with her date, looking mortified. You look beautiful, sweetheart, I tell her. Your mother and I are both very proud of you. Dad, please don't do this. Do what? Tell my daughter I love her? I kiss her forehead. Have a wonderful time tonight. You deserve it. I set down my cup and walk back through the crowd. At the gate, I turn around one more time. Oh, and Ricky? You might want to pay Mickey Torino what you owe him. He's starting to ask questions about your business. The silence that follows me out of that backyard is absolute. By Monday morning, the story's all over town. But this time, it's different. People are talking about how calm I was, how I handled myself with dignity, while Emily and Ricky looked small and petty. The gambling debt revelation has people asking questions about Ricky's character. But Emily's not done fighting. Tuesday afternoon, a sheriff's deputy shows up at my door with a restraining order. Emily and Ricky claim I'm unstable and dangerous, that my appearance at the prom party was threatening and intimidating. The order requires me to stay at least 500 feet away from Emily, Ricky, and Angela. I'm not allowed to contact them directly or indirectly. I can't go to Lexi's school events if Emily's there. I'm officially branded as the dangerous ex-husband. That evening, I'm sitting in my empty house, reading the restraining order for the third time, when my phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. This isn't over. You have no idea what you're dealing with. Back off now or face the consequences. I stare at the message for a long moment, then type back, "Who is this?" The response comes immediately. Someone who knows all your secrets. Leave Emily and Ricky alone, or everyone in town will know what kind of man you really are. I set the phone down and laugh. Actually laugh, for the first time in weeks. They want to threaten me? They want to make me the villain? Fine, I'll be their villain. But I'll be the smartest, most dangerous villain they've ever seen. Time to stop playing defense. The threatening text messages continue for 3 days. Always from different numbers. Always vague, but menacing. Someone's trying to scare me into backing down, but they're making a crucial mistake. They think I still have something to lose. Wednesday morning, I make my first real move. I call the bank and exercise a clause in our business loan that Emily probably forgot about. When we started Morrison Electric, we needed her signature as my spouse on several financial documents. One of them gives me the right to freeze all business-related accounts in case of marital dissolution or potential fraud. By noon, Emily's credit cards stop working. Her car payment bounces. The automatic withdrawal for her expensive gym membership fails. She's got about $300 in her personal checking account, and that's it. The phone calls start immediately. Jake, what did you do? It's Angela, calling from Emily's phone because Emily's too proud to call me directly. I protected my business assets. It's a standard procedure during divorce proceedings. She can't buy groceries. Then maybe she should get a job. Oh, wait. She lost that job after the hotel incident, didn't she? You bastard. She's your wife. No, she's my estranged wife who's been living with another man. There's a difference. I hang up and immediately call Millbrook High School. This is Jake Morrison, I tell the secretary. I need to cancel my daughter's tuition payment for next semester. Mr. Morrison, is there a problem with... My financial situation has changed due to my divorce. I can no longer afford private school tuition. Lexi will have to transfer to public school. It's not the end of the world, but it's a big step down in social status. And in a town like Millbrook, social status is everything. Next, I drive to Consolidated Industries, where Emily used to work. I asked to speak with Mr. Sanderson, the company president. Jake! Good to see you. I heard about your troubles with Emily. Terrible business. That's actually why I'm here, Mr. Sanderson. I need to clear something up. I pull out a folder I've prepared. Inside are copies of Emily's resume from when she applied for the HR director position, along with documentation I've gathered about her actual qualifications. I think you should know that Emily lied on her resume. She claimed to have a degree in human resources from Ohio State. She actually dropped out junior year and never graduated. Sanderson's face goes serious. That's a very serious accusation, Jake. I have copies of her transcripts. I also have evidence that she falsified her previous employment history, The company she claimed to work for in Columbus? It went out of business 2 years before she said she worked there. I slide the documents across his desk. I thought you should know, given that she was making hiring decisions based on fraudulent credentials. Sanderson studies the papers carefully. Why are you bringing this to me now? Because I just found out about it. I was going through our files for the divorce and discovered these discrepancies. I felt I had a moral obligation to inform you. It's not entirely true, but it's not entirely false either. I had suspected Emily had embellished her resume, but I'd never looked into it until now. The research took me 3 days and several phone calls to verify. I appreciate you bringing this to my attention, Sanderson says. We'll need to investigate this thoroughly. By Friday, Emily's former employer has confirmed that she lied on her resume and falsified her employment history. Even though she's already been let go due to the hotel scandal, they're now considering legal action for fraud. But my real masterstroke comes that weekend. Saturday night, Ricky's throwing a party at his condo. It's supposed to be a celebration. His way of showing the town that he's not ashamed of his relationship with Emily. That they're happy and successful and don't care what anyone thinks. Angela's been posting about it on social media all week, making sure everyone knows about the exclusive party at Ricky's expensive place. Only the right people are invited. It's meant to be a slap in my face, a way of showing that they're moving on to bigger and better things. What they don't know is that I've been planning my own party crasher. I arrive at Ricky's building at 9 p.m., dressed in my best suit and carrying a bottle of expensive champagne. The doorman doesn't recognize me, and when I tell him I'm there for the Brennan party in 4B, he waves me through. The party's in full swing when I knock on Ricky's door. Music's pumping, people are laughing, and through the windows I can see the kind of crowd that thinks it's better than everyone else in Millbrook. Ricky opens the door and his face goes white when he sees me. What the hell are you doing here? I brought champagne, I say, holding up the bottle. Thought we should celebrate. You need to leave. Now. I'll call the police. For what? Bringing a gift to a party? That seems unfriendly. Emily appears behind him, wearing another dress I've never seen before. Jake, you're violating the restraining order just by being here. Actually, I'm not. The order says I can't contact you or come to your residence. This isn't your residence, and I haven't contacted you. I just showed up at a party. Technically, I'm not breaking any laws. I push past them into the condo before they can stop me. The party goes quiet as people recognize me. Angela's in the corner, talking to a group of women who all look like they shop at the same expensive boutique. Ladies and gentlemen, I announce, raising the champagne bottle. I'd like to thank you all for coming to celebrate my wife's new relationship. It takes a special kind of woman to find love while she's still married, and an even more special kind of man to pursue a married woman. The room is dead silent now. Emily's face is bright red, and Ricky looks like he wants to hit me. Jake, get out, Ricky says. In a minute. First, I want to make sure everyone knows what they're celebrating. Emily and Ricky's love story began about 6 months ago, while Emily was still living in my house, sleeping in my bed, and spending my money. It's really quite romantic when you think about it. That's enough, Angela snaps, stepping forward. You're embarrassing yourself. Am I? Because I think I'm just telling the truth. Something this crowd might not be familiar with. I walk over to the sliding glass door that leads to Ricky's balcony. His pride and joy, a brand new Porsche 911, is parked in the lot below. Beautiful car, Ricky. Must have cost a fortune. Good thing you've got such a successful business. Oh, but wait. Didn't I hear you owe Mickey Torino some money? How much was it again? 15,000? 20? Ricky's jaw tightens. You don't know what you're talking about. Don't I? Mickey's been asking around about you. Seems he's getting impatient. Word is, he's thinking about paying you a visit at your office. The crowd is hanging on every word now. In a small town, everyone knows Mickey Torino's reputation. And speaking of businesses, I continue, turning to Angela, how's real estate treating you, Angela? I heard the Hendersons decided not to use you for their house sale. Something about your association with known thieves? Angela's face goes pale. You son of a... Now, language. We're all adults here. I set the champagne bottle on Ricky's expensive coffee table and head for the door. Well, this has been fun, but I should go. You folks enjoy your party. Oh, and Ricky, you might want to check your car before you drive it anywhere. Sometimes these parking lots can be dangerous. I'm out the door and down the stairs before anyone can react. In the parking lot, I take a moment to admire Ricky's Porsche one more time. Then I pour a bottle of paint stripper along the driver's side, from the front bumper to the rear. The expensive paint job starts bubbling immediately. For good measure, I pour a bag of sugar into the gas tank. The car won't be drivable for weeks, and the repair costs will be astronomical. I leave a note under the windshield wiper. You can screw my wife, but don't screw with my reputation. The villain you wanted. By the time I'm home, my phone is buzzing with angry calls and texts, but I don't answer any of them. Instead, I pour myself a beer and wait. The police show up at my house Sunday morning. It's Officer Hendricks again, the same cop who responded to the hotel incident. Mr. Morrison, we need to talk about what happened at Mr. Brennan's party last night. What about it? Mr. Brennan's car was vandalized. He thinks you did it. That's a serious accusation. Do you have any evidence? Several witnesses saw you at the party. You made threats. I didn't threaten anyone. I made observations about publicly available information, and I left the party peacefully. What about the car? I shrug. What about it? I was at the party, then I went home. I never went near his car. It's not technically a lie. I went near the car, but I didn't go to the car for the purpose of vandalizing it. I went to the car to vandalize it, which is different. Mr. Morrison, I'm going to give you some advice. Stay away from these people. This situation is escalating, and someone's going to get hurt. Officer, I've been minding my own business. If other people want to throw parties and invite drama into their lives, that's their choice. I'm just trying to get through my divorce with some dignity intact. After she leaves, I sit on my front porch and watch the neighborhood wake up. Mrs. Crabtree is already working in her garden, and I know she heard every word of my conversation with the police. By noon, the story will be all over town. Jake Morrison crashed Ricky's party, told everyone the truth about the affair, and someone vandalized Ricky's car. The police question Jake, but they don't have enough evidence to charge him. More importantly, people are starting to ask questions about Ricky's gambling debts and Emily's fraudulent resume. The narrative is shifting from poor Emily and her abusive husband to maybe there's more to this story. That afternoon, I get a text from the same unknown number that's been threatening me. You've made a big mistake. We know things about you that will destroy your reputation forever. Last warning. I text back. Try me. I've got nothing left to lose, and you've got everything to hide. Let's see who blinks first. The response comes immediately. You have no idea what you're dealing with. We'll destroy you. I laugh and put the phone away. They still think I'm playing their game by their rules. They still think I care about my reputation, my business, my standing in the community. They are about to learn how wrong they are. The anonymous threats stop after my challenge, but I know it's just the calm before the storm. Whoever's been sending them is regrouping, planning something bigger. That's fine. I'm planning something bigger too. Monday morning, I drive to the Millbrook Public Library and use their computers to do some serious research. If someone's been digging up dirt on me, I want to know what they might have found. More importantly, I want to know what dirt I can find on them. What I discover is interesting. 3 years ago, Angela's real estate license was suspended for 6 months due to ethical violations. The details are buried in state regulatory filings, but the gist is that she was caught inflating property values and taking kickbacks from mortgage brokers. She's also been sued twice by former clients who claim she misrepresented properties. Both cases were settled out of court, but the paperwork is public record. But the real goldmine is what I find about Ricky's business. Brennan Electric has been cited multiple times by the state for safety violations, unlicensed work, and failure to pull proper permits. He's been fined over $20,000 in the past 2 years, and his contractor's license is currently under review. More damaging is his personal life. I find court records showing that he was arrested for domestic violence 3 years ago. The charges were dropped when his girlfriend at the time refused to testify, but the arrest record is public. I also confirm what I heard at the gym. Ricky owes Mickey Torino a lot of money, and Mickey's getting impatient. A few discreet conversations with the right people reveal that Ricky's borrowed against his business to pay gambling debts, and he's behind on those payments too. Armed with this information, I start my final campaign. Tuesday evening, I'm at Murphy's Tavern having dinner when Emily walks in with Angela. They don't see me at first. I'm in a corner booth, partially hidden by a pillar. They sit at the bar and order drinks, talking in low voices about their problems. The bank won't extend my credit line, Emily is saying. Jake's frozen everything. We'll figure something out, Angela replies. Maybe you can stay with me until the divorce is final. I can't keep living like this. No job, no money, depending on Ricky for everything. It's humiliating. It's temporary. Once the divorce goes through, you'll get half of everything Jake has. That's when I decide to make my presence known. I walk over to the bar and sit down 2 stools away from them. Evening, ladies. They both freeze. Emily recovers first. Jake, what do you want? Just having dinner. It's a public place. I signal the bartender. Another beer, please. Angela turns to face me. Haven't you done enough damage? Damage? I haven't done anything except protect my assets and tell the truth. If that's damaged your reputation, maybe you should examine your choices. You vandalized Ricky's car. Did I? The police seem to think there's insufficient evidence to support that theory. Emily's voice is tight with anger. You're destroying my life out of spite. I'm not destroying anything, Emily. I'm just not subsidizing your affair anymore. There's a difference. I never meant for things to happen this way. Didn't you? You've been planning this for months. The secret phone calls, the new clothes, the mysterious girls' nights. You think I'm stupid? The bartender is pretending not to listen, but I know every word of this conversation will be repeated around town within hours. You want to know what's really funny? I continue. You think Ricky's your ticket to a better life. But do you know about his gambling problem? His business violations? The domestic violence arrest? Emily's face goes pale. That's not true. Public records, sweetheart. Your new boyfriend has a history of hitting women and owing money to dangerous people. But I'm sure he's changed. Angela stands up abruptly. We don't have to listen to this. No, you don't. But you might want to listen to this. I know about your real estate license suspension, Angela. I know about the lawsuits and the ethical violations. Keep pushing me, and everyone else will know too. They leave without finishing their drinks. I stay and order dinner, making casual conversation with the bartender about how sad it is when marriages fall apart due to infidelity. Wednesday morning, I get a call from my lawyer. Jake, we need to talk. Emily's attorney is claiming you're harassing her and her family. They want to modify the restraining order to include all public places. Let them try. I haven't violated the current order, and I have the right to eat dinner wherever I want. They're also claiming you're hiding assets and manipulating your business finances to avoid paying support. My business finances are an open book. I'm protecting legitimate assets during a contested divorce. That's standard practice. Just be careful, Jake. Don't give them ammunition. But I'm done being careful. That evening, I drive to the Riverside Inn, the same hotel where Emily and Ricky had their superglue incident. I rent room 237, the exact same room where it all went down. Then I call the Millbrook Gazette, the local newspaper. This is Jake Morrison. I'd like to place a full-page ad in this week's edition. What kind of ad, Mr. Morrison? A personal message. I want to thank the community for their support during my difficult divorce. The ad runs Thursday morning, right on page 3. To the people of Millbrook, I want to thank you for your support during this difficult time in my life. When I discovered my wife's affair, I was devastated. When I learned that her lover was my former business partner, I was heartbroken. When I found out that her sister had been encouraging and facilitating the affair for months, I was angry. But your support has helped me realize that the truth always comes out, and good people can tell the difference between victims and villains. I look forward to rebuilding my life and my business in this community that has been my home for 20 years. Sincerely, Jake Morrison. P.S. I'm currently staying in room 237 at the Riverside Inn, the same room where my marriage officially ended. Sometimes you have to face your demons head on. The ad costs me $800, but it's worth every penny. By noon, everyone in town has seen it. My phone starts ringing with calls from former clients wanting to give me another chance. 3 people offer me new jobs. Mrs. Crabtree brings me a casserole. But more importantly, the ad puts Emily and Angela on notice. I'm not hiding anymore. I'm not ashamed. I'm fighting back, and I'm not going to lose. That afternoon, I get a visit from Lexi. She shows up at the hotel room looking nervous and angry. Dad, what are you doing? I'm making a point, sweetheart. Sometimes you have to stand up for yourself. Everyone's talking about that ad. Mom's humiliated. Your mother humiliated herself when she decided to have an affair. I'm just making sure people know the whole story. Lexi sits down on the bed, the same bed where her mother and Ricky were caught together. This is all so messed up. Yeah, it is. But I didn't mess it up. Mom says you're trying to destroy her life. Your mother's life is already destroyed, Lexi. She destroyed it herself when she chose to cheat on her family. I'm just refusing to pretend it didn't happen. But all this public stuff, the newspaper ad, the party, the things you said at the bar, it's embarrassing. You know what's embarrassing? Having your wife cheat on you with your former business partner and then having everyone act like you're the bad guy for being upset about it. Lexi is quiet for a long moment. Then, did you really put superglue in her personal gel? I look at my daughter. She's 16. Old enough to understand the truth. Old enough to make her own decisions about right and wrong. Yeah, I did. That was really messed up, Dad. Yeah, it was. But so was what she did to our family. Two wrongs don't make a right. No, they don't. But sometimes when someone sucker punches you, you have to hit back, or they'll keep hitting you forever. She leaves without saying goodbye, but I can see in her eyes that she's starting to understand. Her mother isn't the victim in this story, and I'm not the villain. We're just two people who made bad choices, and now we're dealing with the consequences. Friday morning, I wake up to find my truck's windshield smashed and all 4 tires slashed. There's a note tucked under the wiper. Last warning. Leave town or face the consequences. I call the police, file a report, and have the truck towed to a repair shop. Then I rent a car and drive to the pit boxing gym. Red, I need a favor. What kind of favor? The kind where you help me figure out who's been sending me threatening messages and vandalizing my property. Red studies my face carefully. You sure you want to go down that road? I'm already on that road. I just want to know who I'm fighting. Red makes a few phone calls. Within an hour, he has an answer. It's not who you think, he tells me. It's not Ricky or Emily. Then who? Angela. She's been orchestrating this whole thing from the beginning. The affair, the threats, the vandalism. She hired some punk kids to trash your truck. She's been playing puppet master, and everyone else is just dancing to her tune. It all makes sense now. Angela's been pulling strings behind the scenes, manipulating Emily, encouraging the affair, escalating the conflict. She's the one who's been trying to destroy me, using my wife as a weapon. Why? I ask. Revenge. You cost her a boyfriend and a paycheck when you fired that thief 3 years ago. She's been planning this ever since. I sit in my rental car outside the pit and think about everything that's happened. The affair, the hotel incident, the divorce, the threats. It's all been Angela's revenge plot. Emily's just a pawn, and so is Ricky. But now I know the truth, and that changes everything. Time for the final showdown. Saturday morning, I wake up with perfect clarity about what needs to happen next. Angela thinks she's been playing chess while I've been playing checkers. She's about to learn that I've been playing a completely different game. I start with a phone call to each of them, Emily, Ricky, Angela, and even Lexi. The message is simple. We need to settle this once and for all. Meet me at the old family cabin on Miller Lake tomorrow at 2 p.m. Come alone, and come ready to tell the truth. The cabin belonged to my grandfather, then my father, and now me. It's about 30 miles outside Millbrook, isolated enough for privacy, but close enough that people know where it is. More importantly, it has something the hotel room and the bar don't have. Complete control over who comes and goes. I spend Saturday afternoon preparing. I set up cameras in 3 locations around the cabin, all connected to a live stream that will broadcast to the Millbrook Community Facebook page. I test the audio system twice to make sure everyone in town will be able to hear every word. Then I make one final phone call to Mickey Torino. Mickey, this is Jake Morrison. I think we should talk. Jake Morrison? Electrical guy? What can I do for you? It's about Ricky Brennan and the money he owes you. What about it? I might be able to help you collect. Sunday at 2 p.m., they start arriving. Emily comes first, driving Angela's car since her credit cards are still frozen. She looks nervous and tired, like she hasn't been sleeping well. Ricky arrives 10 minutes later in a rental car. His Porsche is still in the shop, getting the paint damage repaired. He's trying to look confident, but I can see the stress in his face. Angela shows up right at 2 p.m., punctual as always. She's dressed like she's going to a business meeting, all professional and controlled. Lexi is the last to arrive, and I'm surprised she came at all. She parks her little Honda next to the other cars and walks toward the cabin like she's going to her own execution. I'm waiting for them on the front porch, sitting in my grandfather's old rocking chair with a beer in my hand. Thanks for coming, I say as they gather in front of the cabin. I thought it was time we all had an honest conversation. Jake, this is ridiculous, Emily says. We could have talked at a lawyer's office. Could we?
Because every time we've tried to talk, someone's been lying or manipulating or playing games.
I figured a neutral location might help. This isn't neutral, Angela snaps. This is your property. You're trying to intimidate us. Am I? Because I'm the one who's been getting death threats and having my property vandalized. If anyone should feel intimidated, it's me. I stand up and walk to the edge of the porch. But here's the thing. I'm done feeling intimidated. I'm done playing defense. I'm done letting you people control the narrative. What narrative? Ricky asks. You're the one who's been acting crazy. Crazy? Let's talk about crazy, Ricky. Let's talk about your gambling problem. Let's talk about the $23,000 you owe Mickey Torino. Let's talk about the domestic violence arrest from 3 years ago. Ricky's face goes white. How did you... Public records, asshole. It's all public information. Just like your business violations and your steroid purchases from Danny Martinez at the pit. Emily stares at Ricky. Steroids? You told me you were naturally built. Emily, I can explain. Can you? Because I'm starting to think there's a lot you haven't explained. I turn to Angela. And speaking of explanations, Angela, why don't you tell everyone about your real estate license suspension? Or the lawsuits? Or how you've been orchestrating this whole thing as revenge against me? Angela's composure cracks for the first time. That's not true. Isn't it? You've been in Emily's ear for months, encouraging her to have an affair. You introduced her to Ricky. You've been sending me threatening text messages and hiring punks to vandalize my property. This whole thing has been your revenge plot from the beginning. You're paranoid, Angela says, but her voice lacks conviction. Am I? Red Martinez has some very interesting friends, Angela. Friends who know about the kids you hired to slash my tires. Friends who know about the burner phones you've been using to send threats. Emily turns to her sister. Angela, is this true? Emily, don't listen to him. He's trying to turn us against each other. Like you turned Emily against me, I ask? Like you've been manipulating everyone to get your revenge? That's when I play my ace. I pull out my phone and start the live stream. Ladies and gentlemen of Millbrook, I say, speaking directly to the camera. Welcome to the Jake Morrison Show, broadcasting live from Miller Lake. Today we're going to settle some family business, once and for all. Jake, what are you doing? Emily asks, panic in her voice. I'm telling the truth. All of it. To everyone. I turn the camera toward the group. This is my wife, Emily, who's been having an affair with Ricky Brennan for the past 6 months. This is Ricky, who owes $23,000 to Mickey Torino and has a history of domestic violence. This is Angela, Emily's sister, who's been orchestrating this whole situation as revenge against me for firing her boyfriend 3 years ago. Turn that off, Angela shouts, lunging for the phone. I step back, easily. And this is my daughter Lexi, who's been caught in the middle of all this adult drama. The Facebook Live viewer count is climbing rapidly. Within minutes, half the town is watching. Now, I continue, let's have that honest conversation. Emily, why don't you tell everyone when your affair with Ricky started? I'm not doing this, Emily says, turning toward her car. Actually, you are, because if you leave now, I'm going to tell them about the fake resume and the fraudulent employment history. I'm going to tell them about the credit cards you maxed out buying gifts for your boyfriend. I'm going to tell them everything. Emily stops walking. That's better. Now, Ricky, why don't you explain to everyone how you seduced a married woman while you were secretly buying steroids and gambling away your business? You bastard, Ricky snarls, stepping toward me. Careful, Ricky. We're on live television. The whole town is watching. You really want to add assault to your list of problems? He stops, fists clenched, face red with rage. And Angela, I continue, turning the camera toward her. Why don't you tell everyone how you've been pulling the strings behind the scenes? How you encouraged Emily's affair, sent me death threats, and hired teenagers to vandalize my property. I don't have to listen to this, Angela says. No, you don't. But if you leave, I'm going to show everyone the evidence I have about your real estate fraud, your suspended license, and your revenge plot. Your choice. The viewer count is over 500 now. Comments are flooding in from people all over town. You know what the funny thing is? I say, addressing the camera directly. Everyone in town has been calling me the villain in this story. The crazy ex-husband who can't accept that his marriage is over. But here's what really happened. I tell the whole story, from the wedding night rejection, to the discovery of the affair, to the superglue trap. I explain about Angela's manipulation, Ricky's lies, and Emily's deception. I show documents, play recordings, present evidence. So yes, I conclude, I put superglue in my wife's lubricant. I crashed Ricky's party. I took out that newspaper ad. I've been fighting back against people who are trying to destroy my life and reputation. If that makes me the villain, then I guess I'm the villain you wanted. The comment section is exploding. People are taking sides, asking questions, demanding answers. That's when Ricky loses it completely. He charges at me, screaming obscenities, swinging wildly. I sidestep easily. 20 years of boxing training pays off, and he crashes into the porch railing. Ricky's having a bit of a temper tantrum, I tell the camera calmly. This is the man my wife left me for. The man she thought was an upgrade. Ricky gets up, blood streaming from his nose, and swings again. This time I don't just dodge. I grab his wrist, twist his arm behind his back, and force him to his knees. Say you're sorry, I tell him. Go to hell. I apply a little more pressure to his arm. Say you're sorry for sleeping with my wife, destroying my marriage, and trying to ruin my reputation. I'm sorry, he gasps. I'm sorry, okay? Let me go. I release him, and he falls forward, clutching his arm. There, I tell the camera. He's sorry. That's all I ever wanted, for someone to acknowledge what they did wrong. Emily is crying now, mascara running down her cheeks. Jake, please stop this. Stop what? Telling the truth? Defending myself? Fighting back against people who tried to destroy me? This isn't you. This isn't who you are. You're right. The old Jake would have taken this quietly. He would have let you walk all over him, take his money, ruin his reputation, and turn his daughter against him. But that Jake is gone. You killed him the night you decided to cheat on your marriage. I turn back to the camera. The viewer count is over 800 now. So here's how this ends, Millbrook. Emily and I are getting divorced. She'll get what the law says she deserves. Nothing more. Ricky is going to pay Mickey Torino what he owes, and then he's going to leave town. Angela is going to stop manipulating people and focus on her own problems. And I'm going to rebuild my life and my business, right here in the town where I was born. I walk over to Emily's car and pull an envelope from under the windshield wiper. Oh, and Emily? You might want to look at this. It's the DNA test results for Lexi. Turns out she's not my biological daughter after all. Apparently your affair with Ricky wasn't your first. Emily's face goes completely white. Lexi gasps and stares at her mother. That's not possible, Emily whispers. 17 years ago, you had a brief relationship with Tom Bradley. Yes, the same Tom Bradley who's been one of my biggest clients. Lexi is his daughter, not mine, which explains why she's always looked more like him than me, and why she's always treated me like an outsider. The silence that follows is absolute. Even the Facebook comments stop for a moment. I've known for 3 months, I continue. I've been paying child support and college tuition for a daughter who isn't mine, to support an affair that started before we were even married. Lexi starts crying, not the angry tears of a teenager, but the broken sobs of a child whose world has just collapsed. But here's the thing, Lexi, I say, walking over to her. I don't care. You're still my daughter in every way that matters. I raised you, I love you, and I'll always be here for you. Your mother's lies don't change that. I hug her, and for the first time in months, she doesn't pull away. The DNA test doesn't change anything between us, I tell her, but it does change everything about your mother's credibility. I turn back to the camera for my final statement. So there you have it, Millbrook. The whole truth, live and unedited. I'm not the villain in this story. I'm just a man who refused to be a victim. Sometimes, when people try to destroy you, you have to destroy them right back. Sometimes you have to become the villain they wanted, just to survive. I end the live stream and put my phone away. Emily, Ricky, and Angela leave without another word. Lexi stays with me, and we sit on the porch watching the sunset over Miller Lake. What happens now? She asks. Now we start over. We tell the truth, we face the consequences, and we build something better. Are you really the villain, Dad? I think about it for a long moment. I don't know, sweetheart. But if being the villain means protecting yourself and the people you love, then maybe being the villain isn't so bad. The next morning, I wake up to find that the live stream video has been shared over 2,000 times. My phone is buzzing with calls from former clients wanting to hire me again. 3 different women have sent me friend requests on Facebook. Emily and Ricky have left town. Angela's real estate business is finished. No one will work with her after seeing the live stream. The divorce will be finalized within a month, and I'll keep most of my assets, since Emily's fraud and infidelity are now public record. Mickey Torino got his money. Ricky liquidated everything he owned before disappearing. Tom Bradley called to apologize and to ask if he can have a relationship with Lexi. She said yes. I'm standing in my empty house, looking at the boxes I need to pack, when Mrs. Crabtree knocks on my door. "Jake, I wanted to bring you this." She hands me a casserole dish. "Tuna noodle, your favorite." "Thanks, Mrs. Crabtree. You know, I always knew there was more to the story. Emily never seemed quite right to me. Too polished, if you know what I mean." "Yeah, I know what you mean. What you did yesterday, that took courage, standing up for yourself like that." "Or stupidity. I'm not sure there's a difference." She pats my arm. "Sometimes a man has to fight for what's right, even if it makes him look like the bad guy. Your grandfather would have been proud." After she leaves, I sit in my kitchen and eat tuna noodle casserole while reading the comments on the Facebook video. Most people are supportive. A few think I went too far. Everyone agrees that the truth needed to come out. I'm the villain in Emily's story, the hero in my own story, and probably something in between in reality. But for the first time in months, I'm at peace with who I am and what I've done. Sometimes you have to become the villain to stop being the victim. Sometimes the only way to win is to burn everything down and start over. Sometimes the villain is exactly who everyone needed all along.